Number 10. 2026 Audi A6 All-Road Quattro, a sedan soul in a wagon's body. The 2026 A6 All-Road is the luxury long roof that refuses to be ordinary. It runs a 3-liter turbocharged 6-cylinder pushing 335 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque through all 4 wheels with a quick-shifting 7-speed automatic. Nail the gas and it hits 60 miles per hour in about 5.2 seconds. Smooth, immediate, and with zero hesitation between gears. The power pulls clean from the moment you touch the throttle and just keeps building. Where this wagon earns respect is how it handles anything you throw at it. The adaptive air suspension adjusts automatically across 5 ride height levels, raising up to 1.5 inches when the road turns rough, so gravel, dirt, and broken pavement barely register. Flip into dynamic mode through Audi Drive Select and the dampers firm up, steering tightens, and the chassis drops lower, turning a relaxed highway cruiser into a back road weapon on 20-inch wheels. Inside, a 10.1-inch MMI touchscreen runs navigation and media, while a 12.3-inch virtual cockpit puts speed, maps, and drive data right behind the wheel. Available, Bang & Olufsen 15-speaker surround audio fills the cabin with concert-level sound on long poles. Starting MSRP, $73,100. That was the Smooth operator, but the next car was banned from U.S. soil as a rear differential that sends power wheel by wheel and unlocks a drift system most sports cars don't even offer. Number 9. 2025 Volkswagen Golf R Wagon. Europe's best-kept secret with a long roof and a short temper, the Golf R Wagon is the car Volkswagen refuses to send to America. That alone should tell you how special it is. Under the hood sits a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder cranking out 328 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque, paired with a rapid-fire 7-speed automatic and all-wheel drive that grips from every corner. Stamp the throttle and it launches to 60 miles per hour in 4.8 seconds. No wheel spin, no drama, just a hard shove that pins you back and doesn't let up. The real trick is what happens in the corners. The R Performance torque vectoring system can shift power between the individual rear wheels. So instead of pushing wide like most all-wheel drive cars, the Golf R actually tightens its line and rotates through turns. Adaptive dampers let you go from a comfortable cruise to a stiff, locked-in ride with one tap into race mode. And drift mode is exactly what it sounds like. The car lets the rear step out on command. Inside, a 12.9-inch touchscreen dominates the dash, backed by a 10.25-inch digital driver display, Harman Kardon premium audio, head-up display, and 30-color ambient lighting that sets the mood before you even start driving. Not sold in the U.S. European price from €55,065. If that wagon made you jealous you didn't live in Europe, relax. The next one hits U.S. dealerships and does something with its suspension that no other wagon at this price even attempts. Number 8. 2026 Mercedes-Benz E450 4MATIC All-Terrain. A tailored suit that doesn't mind getting dirty. The E450 All-Terrain is Mercedes proving that a wagon can hit harder than most SUVs while looking twice as good doing it. Power comes from a silky 3-liter turbocharged inline-6 backed by a 48-volt mild hybrid system, combining for 375 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque, with brief overboost spikes that push output closer to 398 horsepower when you bury the pedal. A 9-speed automatic and standard 4MATIC all-wheel drive put that power down with zero fuss, launching this nearly 4,600-pound wagon to 60 miles per hour in just 4.4 seconds. The foundation is where Mercedes flexes hardest. Standard Airmatic air suspension uses air springs at all four corners, automatically adjusting ride height and damping based on speed and road conditions. Activate off-road mode and the body rises for extra ground clearance over rough terrain. Switch to sport and it drops down and firms up, flattening body roll through fast corners. Multi-link suspension, front and rear anti-roll bars, and speed-sensitive steering keep this long roof planted and precise whether you're on highway sweepers or gravel back roads. Inside, a 14.4-inch central touchscreen and 12.3-inch digital cluster run the latest MBUX system, with an optional 12.3-inch passenger display for the co-pilot. Napa leather, 64-color ambient lighting, and available Burmester audio turn every mile into first class. Starting MSRP, $78,300. Number 7. 2025 Volvo V60 Polestar Engineered. Scandinavian calm on the outside, 455 horses hiding underneath. The V60 Polestar Engineered is what happens when Volvo hands its wagon to a motorsport team and says, make it dangerous. The powertrain stacks a 2-liter turbocharged and supercharged 4-cylinder with 2 rear-mounted electric motors and a 14.9 kilowatt-hour battery, combining for 455 horsepower and 523 pound-feet of torque through an 8-speed automatic and all-wheel drive. Hit power mode and the whole system fires at once, launching this wagon to 60 miles per hour in 4.3 seconds with a shove that feels closer to a sports sedan than a family hauler. The chassis is where Polestar's fingerprints show up hardest. Manually adjustable Öhlins dampers let you dial in exactly how stiff you want to ride. 22 settings of compression and rebound that most cars in this price range don't even offer. Up front, gold-painted Brembo 4-piston calipers clamp 14.6-inch 2-piece rotors, delivering 60 to 0 stops in just 110 feet. The rear axle gets 12.6-inch discs to match. In independent testing, the V60 pulled 0.97 G of lateral grip on a skid pad, numbers that embarrass most SUVs and even some dedicated sports cars. Inside, Bowers & Wilkins premium audio fills the cabin. A 9-inch touchscreen runs Volvo's clean interface, and 41 miles of electric-only range means your daily commute can be whisper quiet. Starting MSRP, $71,250. If wagon speed and raw data hit your ears right, subscribe. The conversation's about to get loud. Number 6. 2025 Audi RS4 Avant. The family wagon that makes sports sedans nervous. The RS4 Avant is Audi Sport's answer to anyone who thinks they need a coupe to go fast. Sitting under those widened fenders is a 2.9-liter twin-turbo 6-cylinder, hammering out 444 horsepower and 443 pound-feet of torque, fed through an 8-speed automatic and quattro all-wheel drive that's biased 60% to the rear and can push up to 85% rearward when you demand it. Floor it, and the RS4 rips to 60 miles per hour in about 4 seconds. And the way the power stacks through the mid-range feels relentless, like the car still has another gear hiding somewhere. The hardware underneath is what turns fast into precise. 6-piston front calipers clamp 375mm rotors as standard, with optional carbon ceramics upgrading to 400mm discs that shed an extra 6.5 kilograms and shrug off repeated hard braking. The electronically controlled rear limited slip differential actively shifts torque between the rear wheels. So instead of pushing wide through corners like most all-wheel drive wagons, the RS4 tightens its line and rotates on throttle. Spec the Competition Plus package, and you get height-adjustable coilover suspension, 20-inch forged wheels, and Pirelli P0 Corsa tires for even sharper turn-in. Inside, Audi's 10.1-inch MMI touchscreen pairs with the 12.3-inch virtual cockpit, showing boost pressure, lap times, and G-forces. A standard Bang & Olufsen 19-speaker system and Napa leather sports seats makes every mile feel earned. Not sold in the US. European price from 86,000 euros. Halfway through, and somewhere ahead is a wagon that took 40 years to reach American soil, packs 717 horsepower, and lets you switch to rear-wheel drive with one button. There's only one way to find out. Number 5, 2025 BMW M3 CS Touring. BMW's Forbidden Fruit, a limited production super wagon that America can't buy and Europe can't stop talking about. The M3 CS Touring takes the already potent M3 Touring and cranks every dial further. The 3-liter twin-turbo S58 inline-6 gets higher boost turbochargers pushing 30.5 psi, a sleeve-free closed-deck crankcase, and a 3D printed cylinder head core borrowed from the M4 GT3 race car, pushing output to 543 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. All of it fires through an 8-speed automatic and rear-biased MX drive that still lets you switch to pure rear-wheel drive when you want chaos. The result? 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds and a top speed of 186 miles per hour with the standard M driver's package. The chassis isn't borrowed from the regular Touring. It's rewritten. CS-specific dampers, recalibrated spring rates, bespoke anti-roll bars, and unique wheel camber settings sharpen every input so the car rotates and responds like a machine, 500 pounds lighter than its 4,078-pound curb weight. Optional carbon ceramic brakes deliver massive stopping power that stays progressive and fade-free even after sustained lapping. The M-Active differential keeps both rear wheels digging on corner exit, while a dedicated stability control mode lets you push the rear end without the electronics cutting in too early. Inside, M-carbon bucket seats save weight, while Alcantara wraps the steering wheel and center console. A 12.3-inch digital cluster and 14.9-inch curved display feeds you lap data, boost pressure, and shift lights. Not sold in the US. UK price from 120,600 euro. Number 4. 2026 Mercedes-AMG E53 Hybrid Wagon. A plug-in hybrid that chose violence over virtue. The AMG E53 wagon is Mercedes bringing the fast estate back to American soil with a powertrain that makes old 8-cylinder AMGs look polite. A turbocharged 3-liter inline-6 teams with a 161 horsepower electric motor sandwiched inside the 9-speed automatic, producing a combined 577 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque. Tick the AMG Dynamic Plus package, and Race Start unlocks 604 horsepower on demand, detonating 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds and lifting the top speed from 155 to 174 miles per hour. When you're not hunting on-ramps, a 21.2 kilowatt-hour battery delivers up to 41 miles of silent, electric-only range for your daily commute. The chassis is loaded for war. AMG ride control adaptive dampers adjust in real time, while 2.5 degrees of rear axle steering shrinks the turning circle at low speeds and sharpens stability at triple digits. The Dynamic Plus package also adds electronically controlled limited slip rear differential and upgraded composite front brakes with larger discs for fade-free repeatable stops. Standard 20-inch AMG wheels anchor the stance, with forged 21-inch options available. Inside, a 14.4-inch central touchscreen and 12.3-inch driver display run AMG-specific hybrid and performance pages, Burmester 4D surround sound with Dolby Atmos, Napa leather sport seats, and a panoramic sunroof keep the luxury dialed up. Starting MSRP, $94,500. The first 7 were impressive. The last 3 are the reason you click. If your heart rate isn't up yet, give it 30 seconds. Number 3, 2026 Audi RS6 Avant Performance. 621 horsepower inside a station wagon. The RS6 Avant Performance isn't just fast for a family car, it's fast enough to make supercars check their mirrors. Audi dropped a 4-liter twin-turbo 8-cylinder into a long-roof body with bulging fenders and a stance so aggressive it looks like a Hot Wheels car that grew up and got a mortgage. The engine pushes 621 horsepower and 627 pound-feet through a retuned 8-speed automatic with quicker shift calibration, feeding quattro all-wheel drive with a smaller, faster-acting center differential. Launch it, and the 8-cylinder erupts. 0 to 60 vanishes in 3.2 seconds, and with the optional carbon ceramic brakes unlocked, top speeds climb to 190 miles per hour. Audi stripped over 17 pounds of sound deadening from the cabin, so the 8-cylinder doesn't just perform, it announces itself. RS-tuned adaptive air suspension keeps the 4,900-pound body flat through high-speed sweepers, while rear-wheel steering tightens the car's response at speed and shrinks the turning circle in parking lots. The sport rear differential actively splits torque between the rear wheels on corner exit, rotating the wagon instead of pushing it wide. Optional forged 22-inch wheels cut roughly 11 pounds of unsprung mass per corner, sharpening every input. Inside, a 12.3-inch RS virtual cockpit with switchable white or black gauge faces deliver boost, temps, and lap data. A Bang & Olufsen 19-speaker 3D system and Valcona leather sports seats make this a first-class cockpit disguised as a cargo hauler. Starting MSRP, $131,995. Number 2, 2026 BMW M5 Touring G99. 40 years of M5 history, and BMW never once sold a wagon in America. Until now, the G99 is the forbidden fruit that finally landed, and it arrived swinging with 717 horsepower from a twin-turbo 4.4-liter 8-cylinder fused to an electric motor that doesn't exist to save the planet. It exists to eliminate turbo lag and multiply torque off the line like a catapult. The 8-cylinder alone delivers 577 horsepower. The electric motor stacks another 194 horsepower through the 8-speed automatic. And MX-Drive claws all 4 tires into the pavement so hard that car and driver recorded 0 to 60 just 3.1 seconds in a wagon that weighs over 5,500 pounds. That number isn't a typo. It's physics losing an argument. The chassis has no business being this composed at this weight. Rear axle steering sharpens direction changes. Adaptive M suspension manages the mass through high-speed corners. And switchable M X-Drive lets you go full rear-wheel drive when you want the back end to talk. Optional 420mm carbon ceramic brakes haul this 2.5-ton missile down from triple digits without fading. And the M Drivers package pushes top speeds to 190 miles per hour. Fold the rear seats and you unlock 67 cubic feet of cargo. Supercar speed with IKEA-run storage. Inside, a 14.9-inch curved display and 12.3-inch M cluster deliver boost, battery, and lap data. Merino leather, Bowers & Wilkins 18-speaker audio, and 25 miles of silent electric range complete the split personality. Starting MSRP, $123,900. The fact that you're still watching tells me everything. You don't settle for halfway. Good. Because number one was made for that exact mindset. Let's end this right. Number one, 2026 Porsche Taycan Turbo S Cross Turismo. Forget everything you just heard, because this car plays by rules the other 9 haven't even learned yet. No cylinders, no exhaust note, no combustion at all. The Taycan Turbo S Cross Turismo is a 938 horsepower electric wagon riding on Porsche's 800-volt architecture with dual motors and a 2-speed rear gearbox that multiplies torque the instant you think about moving your right foot. Trigger launch control and the full 818 pound-feet arrives with zero negotiation, catapulting this wagon to 60 miles per hour in 2.2 seconds flat. Not 2.2 for an EV, not 2.2 for a wagon, just 2.2. Faster than every V8, every twin turbo, every hybrid on this entire list. The engineering underneath is why Porsche sits alone at the top. Standard rear axle steering, standard Porsche ceramic composite brakes with massive rotors, and optional Porsche active ride suspension that eliminates body roll, dive, and squat using electro-hydraulic actuators at each wheel. Technology no other wagon on Earth carries. A 97 kilowatt-hour performance battery plus supports 320 kilowatt DC fast charging, recovering 10 to 80% in roughly 18 minutes. Raised ground clearance and the dedicated off-road mode mean this thing handles dirt roads as calmly as it devours highways. Inside, a curved 16.8-inch driver display and a 10.9-inch center screen deliver speed, energy flow, and lap telemetry. Adaptive 18-way sport seats, Porsche electric sport sound, and up to 261 miles of range seal the deal. Starting MSRP, $224,300. Quick poll, if you could only keep one wagon from this list and daily it forever, which one are you picking? Comment your choice. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.